So, this is the third episode of the Crazy Creative Podcast, but the first actual interview with a real person and not me rambling on like a crazy person. I have with me Tim Wengertsman. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
That's right?
Yeah.
The
I say it wrong too sometimes.
yeah,
It's either Wengertsman or Wengertsman. I'm not sure.
I know.
You gotta ask my parents.
Your parents, yeah.
Yeah.
I call him Tim Tanker,
Yeah.
because that's what he's known as. He's an artist here in the Hartford area, and he's the drummer in the band Oil Tanker. I know him as the heavily bearded, heavily tattooed gentleman. Oil Tanker. Is that do you all take the name Tanker, like the Ramones sort of? Is that
No, not at all, actually. I think my buddy Eric Coffin, when we were drunk one time, just started calling me Timmy Tanker and everything. So that's kind of just where it came from. No, when we all kind of have nicknames, like my buddy Shane, we call him Shane Saw. And my buddy Upton, we call him like O-Dog or something. And
okay.
Like, Paul, who plays bass, we call him like Puffy or P. Diddy or, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
I think for a while there we were calling him DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, for a reason I have no idea.
Okay.
But, you know, Timmy Tanker just kind of fit. Because my girlfriend Jill always calls me Timmy, so, you know.
Timmy Tanker. Yeah, it rolls off the tongue.
No, I'm like a lovable, tough guy, I guess.
Yeah, gotcha. A big cuddly teddy bear.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, people see me and they're like, oh, I'm super scared. And then, you know, somebody calls me Timmy and it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm a scared guy. Give me a hug or something. Or I'll give you a hug. And, like, not in a creepy way, too.
Right,
know?
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, I actually just saw your work up at the Awesome Tattoo Parlor. What's Awesome Tattoo and...
It's a healing center, too.
Healing Center. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, over in Hartford.
Yeah, on Arbor Street.
Arbor Street. Yeah, they had some of your work up there, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's the first time. It's awesome. They get that pun a lot, you know. I think it's pretty old for them now, but it's the first time I've been able to hang up woodcuts and drawings at the same time. So, and usually when I hang in galleries too, it's more, you know, there's a piece here and then 2 feet later there's another piece. But like, I'm super OCD and I like people to be confused and almost kind of have a panic attack when they're looking at my art. So I hung all this shit up like salon style, you know.
Okay.
So, you know, they know what they're looking at, but at the same time they don't know what they're looking at, you know. Okay,
so but you hung it, you put it, you set it up the way you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually I like to do it symmetrical, but in this particular, you know, with the particular pieces I had, I couldn't do it symmetrical, but like that's the way I try to do it.
Sure, the space is a little bit different. I kind of was expecting like a clean big wall. And it's kind of look more like a living room wall. You know
which is actually what I like. You know, I kind of it's kind of like, for lack of a better word, it's punk rock art that, you know, obviously looks cool on like a white gallery wall for like different reasons, but it also looks cool, like, you know, like
definitely
like it's in somebody's bedroom or somebody's basement or something.
Yeah, like it fit the personality of the location easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've known Alex is actually the one who does my tattoos.
Okay.
And he's been doing. I went to college with him. He's an amazing illustrator, amazing tattoo artist, and you know, it's nice to finally like connect up with him on like you know, more of a, you know, on like an art level, and not just like, hey, I'm your client, like I'm giving you $200. You know, to hurt me for 3 hours, you know?
Right. It's like a mutual professional relationship there. So let's talk a little bit about your art. We haven't really gotten into it. You're an illustrator, woodcutter. How would you describe your...
Usually I say woodcut first.
Okay.
But then I started thinking, I was like, I draw so fucking much that, you know, I'm an illustrator too. And even these, it's, you know, I still have to draw these up before I cut them out.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I draw every day. I have ideas every day. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll go write down an idea, or like I think one time I was taking a shower and then I came out of the bathroom naked and Jill was looking at me like I was crazy, and then I was drawing in my sketchbook because I was like, oh, I just got an idea by looking at some weird thing in the shower, you know?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm a designer, and it's funny because some of the best ideas that I even get, and a lot of people that I talk to, writers and stuff, like their ideas come to them in the shower because that's like your last place of complete solitude is in the shower. Like it's the only place where you're not being bombarded by some sort of communication or message.
Yeah.
And and your mind is completely free.
And it's funny now because I have so many ideas, and growing up, I was like a younger, whatever, like fuck it all, crusty punk, and I never took showers. So now that I actually take showers now, it's like, I'm like, whoa, this is relaxing. This kind of feels nice.
Right,
it's nice to not have a little heat rash or something underneath or not have like, it's nice not have to like. It's nice not to have like chafed butt cheeks or something, so
you're upgrading.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the first time Oil Tanker went on tour, my buddy Paul and I were like, it was like a week and a half tour, so we were like, dude, let's see who can go the longest without showering. And then
like Zach Wilde style.
Yeah, and then it was just so awful at the end. Like,
oh god,
heat rash all over my body. Like, I remember coming home and Jill was like, "You fucking filthy. Like, I don't want anything to do with you." And I remember taking a shower, and it was just like, just filth. It was like the bottom of the shower was black, and then I was like, oh yeah, maybe. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's punk rock. But now it's like,
yeah, it's disgusting.
I want my girlfriend to be able to lay next to me.
Right. So you're talking about being a young punk. Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from Manchester, Connecticut.
Okay.
And I'm the youngest of 5.
Wow.
So I got babied, but I also got like a shit ton of freedom because I had 2, working parents and everything.
Okay.
And yeah, no, I mean, the reason I got into art was my brother Dave, who, he's 10 years older than me, which means he's 40 now, which he'll kill me for saying out loud, but, he was always an artist, and I always looked up to him, and he was always crazy too. Like, I remember he was really into The Cure and like Joy Division. And I'd bring my friends when I was like in elementary school, I'd bring my friends into his room to like look at his posters and everything. And because I thought it was super cool and like look at his art. And there's actually one funny incident. He's a big Madonna fan, and he had a naked poster of Madonna. And I used to always bring my friends in there in the 5th grade.
Sure,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Look, we could see a naked woman.
Right,
my mom made him, put tape over the nipples, But he was my biggest influence. I remember when I was younger, like even 7th grade, I'd go to Mass Art, which is where he went, and see his performances, and they're just like so surreal and so fucked up in a good way that it was like, holy crap, I don't have to be this like, normal whatever. Like, I can be an artist and like maybe do some good shit, like not have to, put on a tie or whatever.
Right. Like me. That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're good looking though. So, imagine me in a tie. It looks like I'm going to a court appearance,
Yeah, right.
Well, no, I went to my cousin's wedding once, and I had to borrow my dad's clothes because I don't want a tie. And I was wearing a shirt, and my brothers were just making fun of me, trashing me because they said I looked like I was going to a court appearance.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's so funny. So then, what did you do as a kid? Like, were you into like sports and stuff, or were you like in your room listening to heavy metal and drawing all the time?
I used to be a soccer player. I was actually a pretty good soccer player, and like, it's funny, I always tell this story. My brother Matt was like a really good baseball player, and he had to stop playing kind of because everybody got tall and big, and he didn't. He stayed skinny and kind of short, so he just couldn't keep up. And I joke that in soccer, everybody got tall and skinny, and I just kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I got shorter and like just like, just stocky. You know what I mean? So
okay.
I couldn't keep up either. But that was never my calling. I mean, I remember when I quit the team I was on, the coach was like, "Oh, we wish Tim would still do it, but he's just, I'm just not into it." But yeah, I mean, basically my brother Matt, me and him used to skate, ride BMX, and the first bands we got into were like, you know, like Pennywise and No Effects and everything. I remember I used to skate down to Record Express, and I'd like take my mom's bottles and cans. And
Record Express, what's that?
Yeah, no, I know, absolutely. And it's just like I used to skate down to the record store and, you know, just like spend hours like looking for CDs and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, I always drew, but yeah, you know, I was like a little nerdy outsider punk kid, you know, and had my friends, not too many, but. And then when I got to high school, that's when I got into like street punk and crust punk and everything. And this is what my mom calls the lost years of my life, which I always apologize to her for, because, you know, I just fucked off and was just like, hey, I'm going to do whatever drug you can give me, you know, like, I mean, you know, not like serious drugs, but just like, you know, drinking too much, just weed, pills, whatever, you know, not going to class, being a dick to my parents, you know, this and that.
That's high school?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like, I was always good at drawing, and but I didn't really care, you know, because I was a little punk, I didn't care about anything. And my mom actually, I had built up a portfolio, and she was the one that got me an appointment with Hartford Art School.
Okay.
Like behind my back. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? I don't want to go to college. You know, I just want to like live in a gutter, you know, and piss myself and drink 40s all day, you know?
That sounds awesome when you're 14 years old.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now it's completely embarrassing, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
you can turn it around.
Yeah. And
Hartford Art School, the University of Hartford?
Yeah, Hartford. And then I ended up getting a scholarship there.
Wow.
And, you know, I pretty much turned around, you know, not my life, but it turned around my life as an artist, because I actually was like, holy fuck, like, one, I got a scholarship, two, I'm paying loans for this shit, like I better fucking stop being an asshole. And that's when I got like the discipline
to
actually, you know, draw every day. And I remember getting made fun of because I was in the studio once, in a sculpture studio, and I was like spending all this time on a sculpture, and I got a really good grade, and one of the kids said I was like an overachieving asshole or something, and I was like, dude, what the fuck, like we're paying money for this, like we're going to art school, you know?
That was the weirdest thing I think about going to college, like being even in design school, it was the same. Like if you stayed late and worked on stuff,
yeah,
they'd be like, oh, what are you kissing the house? Like, no, man, like
it's like, this is my passion, this is what I like to do, you know?
Like I want to get a job doing this later. Yeah. I don't want to have a shitty portfolio and then work at Stop and Shop for the rest of my life.
That's the thing too, and especially when you go to art school, it's just like I know you want a job, this and that, blah blah blah, but it's like you're going to make yourself better as an artist, you know?
Yep.
And if you're not doing that, like just fucking go to like community college or something, you know?
Right.
Because I have too many friends that went to art school, and like, you know, it's not fucking cheap, you know?
No, yeah. Like, it's expensive,
and
it doesn't guarantee you any.
Exactly. Guarantees you nothing, and
it's not like you're going to school for like to be an engineer.
Oh yeah,
or like
No,
education
absolutely.
where you're like, you know what I mean? Like you can do internships.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That lead to a position. Like I think it's a little bit more. It's a lot more interesting in the art field. You know what I mean? To make it professionally.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I mean, I'm considered kind of a successful artist, but like, I mean, I'm broke. I don't make that much money. Like occasionally I'll, you know, maybe sell a piece or two, or, you know, I mean, I had a show at Tusane and I made like $800, and I did a design for Hartford Art School and I made like $800, but then like I'll have nothing for, you know, I don't know, like 6 months. And then that's the thing too, is that even, you know, I work as, you know, as a picture framer, you know, here where we are, and it's awesome, and I love it, but every time I'm working on a picture frame, I'm still thinking about drawing, you know?
Your work. This is your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And like, you know, it's nothing against my boss or the profession, because I love it and I love him. It's been great, but like I never stopped thinking about this stuff. And, you know, I mean, I remember I'll have like a really bad day, and, you know, Jill, again, my girlfriend, well, she gets out of work at Saturdays at 11 at night. And Saturday's usually my work day, where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to do work. And she'll come home and I'll be pissed off as shit. And she'll be looking at me. She'll be like, what's wrong? Like, really worried? And I'll be like, oh, I fucked up this woodcut today. And she was like, and that's why you're mad, you know? And it's just like, yeah, you know, it's crazy. And that's the one thing, even going back to the art school thing, is that like, you know, granted it's a shit ton of money, you know, I have a bachelor's so I can get a job, you know, but I went to school to become a better artist and a better disciplined artist. And if I didn't go to school, I mean, I wouldn't have the discipline to do any of this shit. Like even just drawing like a 8x10 drawing in high school, even though it would turn out pretty sick, was like a struggle for me to do, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, that's the thing. Like I had, it was a thing, you know, great teachers at the school that were, you know, do a drawing a week that we had, and they all got,
sure,
you know, and if you didn't do it, they would yell at you because they'd be like, why the fuck are you here then?
Right,
you know,
right.
Get out of here. Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So,
art is a lot of work.
oh, yeah.
Art
People don't get that.
Yeah. Design is like being able to like learn, you know, you can be a talented at drawing, like the kids that like doodled and drew in high school, but like to be able to consistently do that and take the stuff that you see in your mind and consistently put that down on like paper, that takes a ton of time to develop that skill. I mean, even myself as a designer, like I went in with a pretty decent eye for, you know, aesthetics. I think, you know, I took a couple of years in illustration.
Yeah, and you have to have the drive for it.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, wait, come up with a logo. Well, you know, like you draw like half a dozen versions, and the first dozen are completely shitty and unusable, and they look.
You feel like a terrible person.
Yeah.
And you want to kill yourself, and yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But it like I feel like you know, I've been working professionally for like 6 years, and I feel like just now am I at a point that I can kind of do what I want when I want. Like I can put down on paper what I see in my own head at a consistent rate.
Yeah. No, I mean
it's got to be the same for you.
It absolutely is. And I talked to an old professor I have. It was a big influence on me, Jenny Friedman, at one of our gallery openings we had. And you know, I'm 29 now, and you know, I graduated when I was like 21 or something. And I was like, you know what? Like I finally feel like I figured out this woodcut thing. Like I'm, you know, and I've done so many fucking woodcuts. It's not even funny, and so many drawings. And now, like, it starts to make sense to me. You know?
Right.
And you know, and she was psyched about it because it's just like, you know, she was talking about how she has some students that like they think that they make one good piece and they're like, all right, I peaked.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
and it's just like, you know, I mean, I'm the type of artist I am is like, what have you done for me lately?
Yep.
Like everybody loves that Last Supper piece and loves that We're Fucked piece, which I love too, but like I did them both like 3 years ago, so I don't even give a fuck about them anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
right. I got you.
And then like, you know, even at the opening, everybody's like, oh, this piece is so good. And I'm just like, well, look at the two fucking new ones up there, you know? Like,
yeah.
And those two, like, I made the squid, you know, and it said fuck it, and I printed it. And that's actually one of the funny things about printing too, is that I get so used to looking at it one way, you know, and it takes me a couple months to do it, and then I print it and I look at it the other way, reverse, and I'm like, oh, this looks like shit, I hate it. And then that's like, you know, one of those whole like, oh, what am I doing with my life, you know, this and that things. And I remember, well, not remember because it happened a couple days ago, but I was talking to Jill, and I was like, what's weird about this piece? And she was like, it looks like a penis. And I was like, yeah. I was like, that's not what I was thinking, but that's cool, whatever, you know.
That's so funny. But so did you go to school for wood cutting? What did you go to school? Like what? I know at University of Hartford there's like focuses. Like,
yeah. They have a bunch of stuff. It's at the Harvard Art School, and I went originally. I thought I was going to be an illustrator.
Okay.
Just because I like to draw.
Yep.
And I ended up taking a printmaking class.
Okay, printmaking.
Yeah. I ended up taking a lithography class, and it's funny too because I'm kind of dumb with words. Like I always say that I always joke that I draw good. I don't speak well.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, like your visual representations are your your words.
Well, yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's your communication.
Because one time I was hanging out with Jill, and I was like, oh, I really like this Leica rice tea you got me. And she's like, you mean licorice? And I was like, oh fuck, like. And then, you know, and then I also used to say bifocals. Bifuncles.
Bifuncles.
How do you say it right? Everybody always tell me I was saying it wrong.
Bifocals?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say it bifuncles. So, and there's a couple other words I do with that too.
Is it like, do you have like dyslexia type of thing?
I mean, Jill's convinced I do, but I've never been diagnosed with anything.
How are you with numbers and math?
I'm not good. But even working here, I mean, I have to do measurements and stuff, and that's fine.
See, but you have a practical application.
Yeah.
For it. Like, I know for myself, like, I'm all right. I'm pretty good verbally, but like my math skills, like I can't even do basic math.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's just like.
Yeah, no, and it's funny too, because my dad's like he's a statistics professor, and he's like a math genius, and he like, birthed this dummy,
That's hilarious.
But I totally forgot what I was going to with that, but when I started talking about words. Oh, no, yeah. Hartford Art School. And then what was funny with that, and I was like talking to my advisor, and I was like, oh, I really want to take a lithography class. And she stopped and looked at me and was like, you mean lithography? And that's before I had any confidence or anything. So
sure.
I was like shitting my pants, and I might have pissed my pants a little bit. And I just felt like so bad about that. But yeah, I took that. And then I took etching, and my professors, Jim Lee and John Willis, and Fred Wessel and Jenny they saw my drawings, and they were like, you draw like you should be woodcutting. And I was, because, the woodcut style is like, that's exactly how I draw. Like, it looks like a woodcut. So I took a class, and I absolutely loved it. And people ask me too why I don't do, why I don't cut on linoleum, because you could do lino cuts, and it's a lot easier to cut.
Okay.
And it's just like, I like cutting on wood because it's a battle, and like, it's like the whole like kind of punching a punching bag thing.
Right. Yeah. It's like I'm cathartic,
literally
right?
cutting something,
Sure.
Like if I was doing this on your skin, it would really hurt.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're knives that I'm cutting with and everything. And
so you use knives or chisels or?
Yeah, they're like little U gouges.
Okay.
They're like Japanese U gouges. This is like an ancient Japanese art thing.
Okay. I'd have to like superimpose some images on the video here so people can kind of see what it is you do, but they're pretty intense. There's some intense illustrations. They're super highly detailed illustrations that are carved into boards and actually in reverse, so that when they're printed they would read correctly.
Yeah, and when I do it too, I'm constantly looking in a mirror.
Okay.
Too,
so you draw this backwards? Are you like awesome at writing words backwards?
Yeah.
So that's probably how like
it's actually pretty scary.
It's hilarious because it's probably why like you, not to make fun of you, if you can't read because you're dyslexic, maybe you're better at reading backwards. That's probably why you kick ass at this.
Yeah. No, I mean absolutely. Like it's weird sometimes. I'll write and I'll be like, shit, that was backwards. Like what the fuck? And like sometimes I'll like look at words like because we have this shit called like UV blocking clear glass. It's like conservative glass or conservation glass. That's what I mean, not conservative. I don't know its political stance on stuff, but it has words on it that says cut on the opposite side.
Sure.
And I always look at it and I'm like, wait, is that because I'm like, it's supposed to be, if it's backwards, I cut on this side, and I'm just like, I can't tell sometimes, and I'm just like, all right, I need to take a break. It's time for a cup of coffee.
Right. Yeah. But, so then you start this as like a sketch. You sketch on paper, or do you sketch it on the wood board itself, or
both?
Okay.
Sometimes I'll just like have a really kick-ass drawing that I'm like, oh, that needs to be a woodcut, and sometimes just get a really kick-ass idea. Like this one is it's Banned Straight Marriage, which I've had. It's funny.
You're not supporting the banning of straight marriage.
Yeah.
It's actually a satire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And some people don't get it. It's hilarious. I was at a show once and somebody was like, "Well, that's so fucked up. That's just as bad as saying blah blah blah." And I'm just like, dude, like.
And most of your work is satirical in nature.
Yeah, it's satirical, and it's supposed to either piss people off or draw a reaction, or like, I had a show in West Hartford once, and there was, people, West Hartford's a little more, I mean, some people haven't seen art like this. It's a little more conservative and everything.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not trying to turn off those people, but I remember one of my friends was like, yeah, like there's a couple people that really hated your pieces, like hated them and were like outraged by them. And he was like, but that's good though, because like you're getting people to feel emotions and talk about art.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing I always like, regardless if you love my work or you hate it, like I don't give a shit. Like, cause I think the worst thing as an artist is like to put a piece on the wall and people just walk by it.
Right. Like, I would rather have a few people love it, a few people hate it, than other people feel completely like indifferent.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, indifferent. That'd be the worst thing. Like, even it's funny now that I've been living with Jill so long, and all my work's just all over the house. And then I'm like, oh, what do you think of this piece? And she said that. She's like, I don't know, you do so much shit, I'm indifferent to it now. I see it. She's like, I wake up and I see it every morning, She's
right.
like, I don't know, but
I think our significant others are they're good moral support. They're definitely the good like emotional support. But I think sometimes like when it comes to the work, they're just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
it's like just
they're like,
leave me alone.
You're a lunatic.
Yeah, like
go to work.
Right. Well, I mean, looking at you with the tattoos and the beard, it doesn't look like you're really afraid to kind of offend people or make people. No, you definitely don't look like you're. And looking at your work, I mean, it's definitely done by an intense person. Don't seem like somebody who wants to create something that's forgettable and.
No,
likable.
I mean, absolutely. And that's the thing too. I always say it to like it goes the same along with drumming, because I'm a drummer, and I play as fast as I fucking can, and I hit as hard as I can. And if I don't, if I play a show and I haven't played up to my ability and haven't hit or played as tight or fast as I could, like I feel terrible. Like the first oil tanker show we had back in November, because our guitar player Upton was away in Spain, living in Spain for a little bit. I was like, it was our first show back, and my friends were making fun of me. They were like, oh, it was kind of slow, Tim. And it was a little slow because it was our first show back. It's like, this shit's like really intense crust punk, really fast D beats, like some metal shit too. And like they were all making fun of me about it, and it like really got to me. So then the next show we played, it was like it was like hyper speed.
Sure.
And I was like, fuck you guys keep up with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like that's the same way I am with this stuff. And I totally forgot where I was going with that one too.
I don't know, we're just talking about I guess the intensity.
Oh,
and like you went to a West Hartford show.
There you go. Yeah, no, and then that's what I try to bring with this stuff. Like it needs to be as detailed as I can possibly make it, with also having the figure, not gray out, because that's a problem I have too, is a lot of this stuff will gray out. So I try to cut more white or cut more.
Okay. Now, do you start with a pretty basic sketch in mind, and then as you're cutting, fill in a ton of this detail, or do you sketch out each individual?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, that is the work here has the amount of detail that's used in the work is astounding. To think how, like, if I had to do this, it would be completely daunting and take me probably years to do one of these.
This, like, doing this stuff is like meditation for me.
Sure, I bet.
Because like I just draw in the
like a rough outline, like kind of like this one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a rough outline, and then I just go to town on like filling everything in, and
giving it some texture. And
and I have a pretty good idea what I'm doing every time, and then sometimes I'll start drawing it up, and I'll be like, this kind of sucks, and then I'll put it down for and then I'll pick it up like a year later and finish it.
Sure.
And then I like it again, which is why I work. There's like 8 woodcuts here I'm working on right now, probably even more. But that's why I work on so many, because taking time off from looking at them is awesome.
Sure,
and then, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, it is so much detail, and that almost overwhelms me sometimes. Like looking at it.
Yep.
And I try not to do, obviously I have a distinct style, but I try not to get into like, just like having a template for my own art.
Right, and kind of just like going through the motions.
Yeah. Which is why I draw too, and I try to. Actually, lately, it's funny to say, because I'm like, I hate technology, and I'm so bad with it. But my friend Andrea, which you know Andrea, she suggested I make an Instagram, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not some like dumb little fucking hipster. I don't want an Instagram. But then I made one, and it got me to make like, because like these things take fucking months.
Yep.
And it got me to do like a small sketchbook drawing every day. It takes me like 2 hours.
Yep.
Which is amazing because, you know, now, one, I'm producing more, 2, more ideas, and I'm actually getting myself out there more, which is cool.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
you know, a lot of times after I draw these up, cut them, and print them, I'm just so over with them because it just took me like, you know, it's like I said with the wood, it's like a battle to do this.
Yep.
You know, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done with this, you know?
I was going to ask you about that because like, it's funny because I think I have the same, I can relate to you like as a designer, like you get a new project. I'm sure it's the same for you. Like you get super excited, like maybe about a new, a new drawing. I'll get super excited about a new project. Yes, this is going to be awesome. And then like I start banging it out and then you go through like client revisions. And then by the time it's actually done, I'm just like, I can't wait to get this fucking thing.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
I hate this project. Yeah. And like, and I was going to ask you at the show the other day, like when you look up on the wall, are you like, wow, that's awesome? Or do you like, I hate every single one of these. I can see something wrong in every one of these. Like
because it's funny because I also said before that I hate the older ones because they're what have you done for me lately, you know, type of guy. But I like the older ones. Like that Pro-Life Sucks one I made. When I was drawing that up, I was like, this is it. This is my claim to fame. This is the best thing I've ever fucking done. This and that. Oh, it's so good. Then I printed it and I was like, fuck. And I was like, wow. And that was, you know, it was, because I actually printed it with this print, the Band Straight Marriage print. And then I printed this one, and I realized I spelled straight wrong, which I was like, fuck, the Republicans are going to go crazy with that one, you know?
Yeah.
So I had like an existential crisis, you know, and I sat on the ground for a bit, maybe drank a beer, and then figured out how to, you know, I just cut it smaller, you know, so I spelled it right. But that was like a really bad day printing. And then now the Pro-Life, which is what I'm getting back to, the Pro-Life Sucks one now is like my favorite piece that I've done. Now that I'm like a year removed from it. And actually one of my other favorite pieces I'm a year removed from, I didn't have it at that show, but it's a guy doing a BMX trick, because I have a lot of friends who do BMX riding, and it says eat shit, which I'm actually doing, this is the third one of that. The first one I'm doing fuck off, eat shit, and die, you know? Mm-hmm. This one's a guy my friend Phoebe on a road bike, who's not a guy, she's a girl. And then this one's my buddy. The one on the other side is going to be my buddy Upton on a skateboard.
Okay.
And
the guitarist.
Yeah. And yeah, you know, the eat shit thing is just like, I don't know if you ever like rode or skated or anything, but like when you fall, you ate shit, you know?
Right, so, I've used the term many times. My kids eat shit basically on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's funny. I remember one time we were, my friends and I
not literally. Like,
no. Oh yeah, well maybe
in the sense where
they are children.
Yeah,
they could have.
They're small.
Yeah. There was one time where we went riding, you know, just through the city and everything, and my buddy Paul like slipped on some mud and fell really hard, like ate shit hard. Mm-hmm. And then we went to go get pizza after, and the guy at the pizza, it was like 1 a.m. The guy at the pizza place was wasted. And he's like, oh, dude, what's wrong with you, man? And Paul's like, oh, man, I ate shit real hard. And he was like, oh, you should eat better. You'd probably feel better. And then, it was just kind of funny, like, disconnect, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, it makes so much sense to us, but then, like, you know, somebody else.
Is it that piece, the one you have up now at Awesome, is that the eat shit you're talking about? There was one piece where somebody's definitely eating shit on a bike.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No. That's not the eat shit I'm talking about. That's a different one. I entitled that one very smart. You know, very intelligently. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know, because
that what I was? And I wanted to ask you. I was like, did you take a dump on your bike or what?
I've taken many dumps on my bikes. I don't have a car.
Okay.
I haven't for like maybe like 6 years. You know, I had one, but then the brakes went, and I was like, oh, I don't have any money. So then, you know, that was that. But I ride a bike.
Well, this simplifies things.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I love riding a bike. I ride a road bike. I don't have the balls to ride a fixie yet. But, yeah, there was one time I'm wearing new glasses right now, but I mean, you've seen me with my old pair.
The electrical tape.
Yeah. I mean,
those were dope. I was kind of hoping you'd have those for today, but
Jill threw them out.
Oh, really?
She made me throw them out.
Son of a bitch.
I know, right? And I was like, this is like a sculpture project.
Yeah.
I almost thought, because we make pedestals at work, I almost thought about putting one on a pedestal for like a show, you know?
That'd be hilarious. Dude.
Yeah, but like one time I was hanging out with my friend Paul, and we were drinking beers and everything, and then it was during an ice storm, and I was like, I'm going to ride my bike because I'm so good at riding my bike.
Yeah, what do you do in the winter, man?
I still ride. Well, now I'm a little better about it.
This winter was a bastard.
Yeah, I mean, I live close enough to work where I can walk, and Jill will kind of hook me up and drive me sometimes, and you know, I just kind of deal. Walking in it's not bad. I don't ride in it as much because I've you know.
I'd be more worried in the cars. People on cars around here driving
in Hartford?
around.
Yeah. Hartford and West Hartford, they're like trying to kill me.
Oh yeah.
Like it's.
I'd be more worried about them hitting me than like me like taking shit on a bike. Well, sure.
That's the thing. It's like for some reason, for people in Hartford and West Hartford, it's like offensive to them to have me on a bike.
Oh yeah.
It's just like it's an inconvenience to them.
Oh sure, get out of my way. My Beamer is more important than
your
life,
like,
dude.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, if I could afford a car, I would. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be some like hero or something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Just trying to get to work. But yeah, I rode home in the ice storm and I fell, but I fell cleanly, and I just fell on my side, and I was like, whew, yeah, lucky there, man.
Yeah.
So of course, what I did, I just got back on my bike and fell again and flattened on my face and destroyed my glasses, and that was kind of that fuck moment too.
Yeah.
And actually, it was another thing too, because in the print, the guy's trying to save his beer that he has, and there's one story once when my buddies used to live on the third floor of this place on Evergreen in Hartford, and we were walking down once, and I had a beer, and then in one hand and my bike on my shoulder, and I tripped, and instead of bailing the beer, I fell straight on my knees just to save my beer. And I was like, my buddy Upton was like, why the fuck did you just do that? You know, it was pretty funny. But yeah, that's kind of where that one came from.
Okay, gotcha.
And the fuck off one here is just like, even I have a 5-minute ride from my work to home, and riding on Park Street sometimes, it's just like, dude, like, just don't open your car door.
Yep.
Don't, like, I have a thing in the car too where like, I'll be in Jill's car and somebody will be turning left, and I like flinch and go, because like everybody on a bike, if I was on a bike, they'd cut me off. You know?
Yep.
So I mean, now I ride real safe and ride real defensive. Like, I know people are gonna cut me off and everything. So
yeah, people aren't looking out, man.
No.
And half the people are. It's funny. Like, you get to like. You're driving anywhere, you look around, everyone's looking down into their lap, man.
Oh,
everyone's looking on their phone. Not one person on earth is paying attention,
scary.
Man. It's crazy.
It's scary.
I'm so happy that I have a pretty small commute myself, and I don't have to get on the highway, because it's like maddening. I'm like, dude.
And I have some road rage too.
I bet.
I mean, I've even had some times on my bike where I'm like, I remember one time I somebody cut me off and knocked me over, so I was a tough guy. And I got up and put my back tire on their car, but then they were like high school kids or college kids.
Yep.
And then some guy sideswiped me and knocked me down, and I looked back, and I was about to get so pissed, and it was like this huge guy, so I was like, no, that's cool. That's cool, man.
I'm
We're
okay.
good.
I'm
We're
okay.
good. That was my fault that you sideswiped me.
Yeah, right. I'm the guy on the bike.
Yeah.
So, I know we talked about this before, and you're talking about, raging out, but in that intensity, and when you jack up one of these pieces of artwork that you like spend weeks and months on, and you kind of tweak out, and I think you and I have something in common there, and it's funny because the more people I talk to that are like creative people, like we all have that sort of like intensity where like you can't get in between what it is we're trying to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the thing, too, that, like, it's great to find people who think that, because it makes me feel like I'm not a lunatic.
Oh, yeah. Everyone else in the world thinks I'm a crazy
person. Yeah.
My wife thinks I'm a nuts. Like, she thinks I'm a psychopath. And to find somebody that's like, yeah, I'm a complete lunatic about my artwork is actually, it's actually cool.
And the thing, too, is it's not easy at all to be an artist. and in this society, and it's not, like the same thing. It's not easy to be a musician. It's not easy to be a creative person. So like you need that drive.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and if you don't have that drive, it's so easy to fall into the norm and just do nothing.
Like you have to have that intensity. It's the only thing that gets you up and pushes you to do something and create something. Otherwise, I'd be sitting on my ass playing Xbox all day, or like zoning out all Sunday long watching football. Like
Like, yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like there's
well, that's why I mean I'm I know I'm a punk rocker and I'm supposed to hate TV, but like I fucking love TV.
Really?
And one thing like I've realized I do is I work in front of the TV. Okay. Or I work in front of friends, like when friends are hanging out and everything. Sure. Because like sometimes just telling myself I have to go to a studio and work doesn't work out for me, you know?
Well, that's cool. You can make it like
I can make it
like
anywhere.
A social like thing too.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know. It's weird. I have to be like completely in silence and left alone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Some things I can do, but like for a lot of the time.
Well, I mean, because like with like a lot of this stuff, I do it. I mean, once it's already cut. I mean, once it's already drawn up, I just got to cut it. I don't have to think anymore. And at the same time, a lot of times I do. Like, all right, I'll put it this way: when I'm actually drawing one of these up, you can't be around me.
Okay.
Like, I draw it up, and then I go, oh, fuck it. Oh, fucking piece of shit. And then I walk away from it. I go, like, pet one of my dogs or something. And then I come back, and I'm like, all right, okay. And then I'm like, no, fuck. Oh, you fucking dumbass. And then that goes on for, like, 4 hours. And then I finally get, like, a good sketch of it, and I sketch it in, and then I'm like... take a deep breath, and then when I'm drawing it up like this, like the pattern, like I'm like, oh, this pattern looks cool next to this. It's just, it's basically all just patterns that I put together, and a lot of it's like stream of consciousness too. And
you're just kind of flowing.
Yeah, and honestly, like it's relaxing. It's meditative. Like I'm a proud crazy person, and this is how I maintain.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess I can see where like this is definitely more permanent. I can see where like you're spending 4, 8, 16, hours or weeks on one piece, and if that thing goes wrong, dude, that's time gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel like what I do, I can easily kind of duplicate, recreate things much more quickly.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because that's one of the reasons I make so much stuff. Is because like, it's like I have a bunch of woodcuts at home. I won't even fucking show people because they're so bad. But I learned something from it.
Yeah, and
that's why I made so much.
You got to make the shit before you can get to the good stuff.
Oh yeah,
and it's got to be a mountain of shit.
Oh yeah,
and before anything, it goes. I'd say that goes for anything.
Yeah,
you're a musician. You're doing this type of stuff. Like you're tattooing people. You're a designer. Like you got to get the shit out of your system.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember when I got my first tattoo, the guy was like, I was talking to him about it, and he was like, my first 20 tattoos are so embarrassing. And he was like, people would try to be like, oh, thanks, man, this is really good. And he'd just be like, oh, God, this is awful. Like, what am I doing with myself, And now he's this dude, Sean Hebrink, he's an amazing artist,
Yeah.
And, I don't know what happened to him now, but I know he lives like Minneapolis somewhere, but not really in touch with him anymore. But like, it's like the same thing with, this stuff. Like you only get better from doing it.
Right. Yeah.
And like that's the thing people don't get too, because a lot of times they'll be like, oh, that's so cool you do that. Just like, can you make me something?
Can you give me a tattoo?
Yeah. Well, I get that all the time.
Like must get it every day.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah,
just because I have tattoos and I'm an artist, I'm a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I should start saying yes and like take him to an alley and just have like a knife and some ink. Just poke him. All that. Then I'd probably get arrested.
Timmy's back alley tattoo.
Yeah.
shop.
No. Yeah. That'd be good. That'd be good.
I don't know about you, but I think I need to take a break.
Yeah.
Take a leak. What about you?
I can always pee.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna check the cameras, and then we can come back.
Yeah.
All right. How you have to do a ton of work and kind of really hone your skills and kind of find your focus and like get good at your artwork. So like, how long did it take you to kind of figure out that this was your style and this is the avenue that you wanted to go?
It's actually funny. It's when I was in college, I have a weird mind, so sometimes when I get something in my head that I think I have to do something a certain way, like I think that's like I had a thing in college where I thought art had to look a certain way, and I would always draw on my sketchbook like this. But when I would do like paintings and stuff, I thought it had to look like a Rembrandt,
right,
or something, or like, you know, realistic or this or that. And then I took a non-traditional drawing class with a teacher who was one of my favorite professors, Harriet Caldwell. And I did the first project, and she was like, you know, yeah, I know it's good, but you know, and then she saw my sketchbook and she was like, why don't you draw like that? And I was like, I don't know, because in some of my head I didn't think it was art, which is dumb.
It didn't look like something that you recognized.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like even like talk to regular people, like they'd be like, oh, well, it doesn't look like, if it doesn't look like anything I have not seen, if it looks like something I've seen before and I can kind of recognize it and like identify with it, then it's art. Yeah. But if it's something different, like, oh, that's just Tim doing his thing. That's not real art.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same thing, it's so stupid what people have with abstract art. Because we get that at the gallery all the time. People would be like, oh, my kid could do that. And it's just like, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a process. That's a whole different thing. But even with my thing, like, I'm still learning how to do my style. And I mean, I was really influenced by Kathy Kollwitz, who was a German expressionist woodcut artist, and I'm really influenced by Ralph Steadman too, which is Hunter S. Thompson's illustrator.
Sure.
So I think that kind of got me into the whole, like, Ralph Steadman got me into the whole, like, don't take yourself so seriously.
Sure.
You know?
I almost get like this. I know I've said this to you before, and I hope it's like that rap think sort of, like, to me, like, your work has that like a hot rod psychedelic look to it. Like, there's a ton of, like, I think with a lot of the detail that you use, it gives it a lot of life and motion, almost like it's a psychedelic trip. You know, you have sort of like these weird figures, like, contorted, doing something crazy.
I totally agree. And it's funny too, because I remember people used to be like, oh, what drugs are you on? And I'm like, oh, none, which I guess is sad because that's how my mind actually thinks. I actually joke that in my other life, I came from a world where people look like this. You know, there's like these big teeth, weird looking motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah.
But
but it's cool because then you look at people like I said, the Rat Fink dude and that dude Coop, who does that like hot rod type artwork. Yeah. And like those guys, like, they're like iconic artists because they have like a certain style. They've developed like those like devil women. You know what I'm talking about? Big breasted devil women with big asses and like lingerie. Like they do artwork, like tattoo work, and they're well known artists. They produce a ton of stuff, and people buy all their stuff up. I mean, that's
absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things with this stuff. It's just like, like it goes back to like, you know, I don't care if you love it or hate it, you know, it's my style.
Yep.
You know, and obviously I've ripped off other people, and I hope people rip me off. Like, that's what it's all about, you know? I mean, I play in a punk band. We play this, you know, we've ripped off so many bands play like the, you know, there's only so many chords you can make in music, you know, and there's only so many things you can draw in art.
It's all been done, man.
Yeah. Like, even with those artists, I feel like
they're ripping off somebody else.
And it gets to the point where you just, like, which is why I made that print, fuck it, because you just say fuck it. And, you know, I mean, like, even look at this. Like, I mean, this woodcut is a fine art, and it's something that's, you know, hung in museums, this and that. Like, I'm technically a fine artist, you know, but I have a print with a punk on a bike that says fuck off.
Right.
You know, and I love that. And I love that some people will look at that and be like, oh my God, what a fucking douchebag. Like, this guy's, you know, and some people will look at it like, you know, oh, that's awesome. And that's actually what I like too, is like, I've gotten a lot of people into art that didn't think they liked art, because they always thought it was like the wine and cheese gallery thing.
They didn't know it because they didn't find something that they could get into or get, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Identify
absolutely.
with.
Yeah.
It's funny because I talked to my wife about it. I'm like, this is going to sound funny, but I had this huge, my dream, if you would, when she first met me, and probably before that, when I was like 12, 14, whatever, like my dream would be like, I was going to be this artist and a drummer in a metal band. And it's so funny because I'm like, yo, Timmy Kanker is like me if 12-year-old me never like went on this path, like
never gave up.
Yeah, like
I'll teach you how to play drums right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you asked me, if you went back in time and went to 12-year-old Steve, what are you gonna be when you grow up? You're like, I'm gonna be a gnarly dude in a metal band, and I'm gonna be an artist. And
it's actually funny you say that. I found some, like, you know, my parents moved a couple years ago, so they got rid of all of our shit, you know. And my mom gave me this like thing from the 5th grade, and it was a poem I wrote, and it was like when you get older poem, and it was like I forgot how I worded it, but it basically was like, I'm gonna be in a band with my brother. And I mean, I'm not in a band with my brother, but like, and then we're gonna tour the whole land, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. Like, I kind of do that now, and
manifest destiny, man.
Yeah, I mean, granted, in my poem, my dad was the manager of the band, and he's not the manager. We don't have a manager or anything, but it's kind of cool that from a young age, I kind of feel like I was like, all right, like this is what I'm gonna do. And it's funny too. That brings me to another thing. I've always gotten good critiques and everything, and people usually like my shit. And when I was a senior in high school, there was a visiting artist that came in. I don't remember his name, and I didn't really like him that much, and I thought his art kind of sucked, so I probably shouldn't say his name anyways. And we all get a critique from him. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he critiqued my work, and he was like, well, why do you do this? And I was like, well, I don't know, I like to draw. I like to do shit, it's like one of those, it's one of those things too, I'm also like, a lot of these are religious comps, so I'm trying to take like, say these are a bunch of people who, people think this guy or so-and-so, if you're a punk rocker, if you're this, you're a lowlife, and that's not true. And I'm trying to take, like, what society's standards thinks is people are pieces of crap. I'm trying to make them seem holy. Okay. And that's basically what I was trying to tell the dude. And he was like, "Oh, you just make art from motorcycle people." And I was like, "Okay, what the fuck does that mean?
What does that even mean?"
And like, that's basically what he said to me. And
what's a motorcycle person?
I mean, well, not now. It's kind of funny because like I don't ride a motorcycle. My buddies ride motorcycles, and I like make art for them all the time. So I was like, "Holy shit, maybe he's actually right." But he said,
it's funny because the two motorcycle people I know are like yuppies with BMW motorcycles. So, and I'm sure those two motorcycle people are drastically different from the motorcycle people.
Yeah. And
is he talking about like, Hell's Angels biker type guys?
I guess so. And I was like, okay, I mean, and then that's pretty much all he said to me about it. But I had to go see his lecture, and I didn't want to fucking go see it, but I saw it, and he pretty much said, and it's always stuck with me, and it was, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter how unsuccessful or poor or depressed or shitty you feel, don't stop making art. Mm-hmm. Because, granted, if it's, I'm not looking for something to happen. I'm not looking to make $1 million or anything, but it's just like, with, I don't know, this is like kind of like my legacy, and it's just like, for all, I don't know.
It's better than money, man. It's like a tangible thing. Like this is actual stuff that you created and you can leave. Like money is money doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you'd love to make enough money to survive and live comfortably, but like this is an actual, like, my dad's a carpenter. The guy's like built houses. Like he built the house we grew up in. Like that's badass to me. Like like it's funny because like I always wondered where I got my artistic talent as a kid. And then I'm like, I go work with the dude once in a while, and he's like doing this like super high-end finish work.
Oh, are you kidding me? Carpenters are fucking artists, man.
Yeah, and
I can't do that shit.
It's like Better Homes and Gardens type stuff. And I'm like, well, no kidding. This dude like thinks like He's like, oh, your art's cool, whatever. But he doesn't consider himself an artist. But I couldn't do it with the stuff he's doing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my buddy Matt Sachs was actually a huge inspiration, like punk rock inspiration in my life. I've actually done some prints of him and everything. And he used to be like, a tour driver and everything, and played in like some of my favorite punk bands and shit. He's a fucking master carpenter.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's one of those things that's like, he has his own business, and like I get to be comfortable in my apartment, like, doodling,
Yep.
working on woodcuts, and he's outside, breaking his fucking back, making fucking $1 million houses,
Right. But still, like
that's cool.
Yeah. But like you said, like, I think leaving a legacy, leaving something, I think that's cool. Like, there's something to be said to have like created something that you can leave behind. Like, that's your mark.
Yeah.
More than like, I was an accountant at this insurance company.
Yeah.
I sat in a cubicle. When I left, they just hired a brand new guy to take my place.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's
I left no mark.
Yeah, and that's what I agree with too. I mean, like, even I go with that with experiences too, because my art is a lot based on experiences, and like, this one I'm doing right now that says "We Fail," and they're burning stuff and to be warm, and it's snowing out. It's because this winter fucking sucked, and I was like, "Fuck this shit! I hate everything,"
Yep.
Even though I love, but that's what I'm getting at. I love, like, sometimes a bad experience is a good experience.
Yeah.
And that's where I get like
everything's an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
To do
like,
something.
You can learn from it, or you can
see what you're made of. Like, what can you make out of it?
Yeah.
Like, what can you learn?
Exactly. I mean, like, even like I have a bunch of prints of like guys throwing up. Well, yeah, like, why did I do that? Yeah, because I got too wasted one night and projectile vomited over something, and then that was the, that's the print,
Right.
I mean, I'm trying not to do that anymore. Not I'm almost 30, but like, shit happens when you're younger,
Yeah.
And like, that's, that I mean, and that's why I kind of try to keep this stuff satirical too, because like, for lack of a better word, life kind of sucks sometimes. So you gotta fucking, I don't know, try to laugh or something.
Be a little bit light with it. I mean, I totally agree with you as far as like, you don't want to take your art so seriously. It's the same thing as the same time you don't want to take life so seriously.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus
absolutely.
Christ, like, we're on here like what, like 8 decades if you're lucky, man.
Actually,
like,
this one,
come on,
this one at the bottom here, I titled it "We're Only Gonna Die."
I think it's funny because like I think it's a terrifying thought that like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
But it's also a ridiculously freeing thought.
Oh,
if you
absolutely.
can take that thought and be like, well, I'm gonna die, so what should I do? Or what?
Well, no. I'm gonna die, so fuck paying my credit cards. I mean, you're a father, so you have to.
I don't want to
be a little more responsible with your money.
I don't want to make the years I'm here as miserable as possible, but also like, why live in fear and go for the gusto if you're going to do something?
Oh, absolutely,
You know
and
what I
actually
mean?
that brings me back to college too. The same professor, Harriet Caldwell. We had to do a self-portrait, and it was a non-traditional drawing class, which was the class that opened up my eyes, because I actually do a bunch of drawings too. We had to like write a statement with it.
Okay.
And like my,
like a creative statement, like a rationale sort of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And mine was like, oh, like, life is so hard. I'm so emotional. That's why I did this, and my eyes are worried, and my brain is tired, and blah 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 blah. Like, oh, emo, fucking pity me,
Yep.
And then she took me aside and was like, Tim, how old are you? I was like 20. She's like, you're 20 years old. You should not be this fucking depressed. Like, lighten the fuck up,
Dude, wait till 40 comes
Yeah,
around.
I know,
And you have like 2 kids waking you up at 4:30 in the morning. You'll know what depression's all about.
Yeah. You're 40?
No, I'm not 40.
Oh, I was about to say, you're the youngest 40-year-old I've ever looked in my entire life.
I'm only 33. No, I'm using. No, I'm not 40, but yeah.
But yeah, and then after that, the first print I did after that was a guy drinking a 40. Because I was like, fuck it. Like, yeah, that's right. Like, this is funny. This guy, and I called it High Gravity, because it was back when, you're in college and all you could afford is like a Steel Reserve 40. You know? So, you know, and that actually changed me because that got me into, I mean, yeah, I'll make some, now that I've been out of college and I understand how, you know, being poor is and how life can suck sometimes and everything. So like, yeah, I'll make like more serious ones, like, you know, this We Fail one I'm doing, but I'm also doing this one over here, where it's a self-portrait of me in the morning taking a shit on the toilet and drinking coffee. And
I dig it.
It's trying to like simplify things because like every morning I wake up, I hate my life because I hate waking up. And I'm just the worst person ever when I wake up, and Jill knows this, and she won't even talk to me before a cup of coffee. But like, I almost want to put like peace be with you on this one, because my biggest piece is I make a cup of coffee and I sit in the toilet and take a huge dump. And I'm like, wow, like this is heaven, you know, this feels amazing, you know? So I'm documenting that, which is the same thing with what I'm talking about with art, like not to take yourself so seriously, because like, you know, I got this mad serious print over here kind of being political, this and that, you know, have the banned straight marriage one that's kind of being political, and pro-life sucks, it's kind of being political, and then I have this one that's just all about like
taking a shit.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I guess that it's like, I think is also cool as like a creative person is like, you know, like you mentioned it before, like people think like you're going to create this one piece and this one piece is going to be the thing, but really you got to look at it as like the entire body of work.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, and like I said before, like sometimes, you know, some projects I get into, it's awesome, and then I hate it, and when it's done, I can't wait to be done with it. But then when I go back and look at all of that work, I'm like,
you actually appreciate
fuck yeah,
it.
man, I did a ton of work, man. I'm kicking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's actually the hardest thing about an artist is like, and I remember my brother had to tell me this, because like I said, I'm influenced heavily by him. And he was like, Tim, you gotta sit back and enjoy your shit. Yeah. Because you're putting all this energy, and, you know, usually, like, a lot of times, like, I'll finish this, print it, won't even look at the print, put the print away, fuck it. And I'll just be like, whatever, and then I'll make another one, because, you know, I'm a what have you done for me lately type of guy.
Yep.
But, like, that's even why this opening was nice the other night, because it's like, I'm just like, holy shit, I'm kind of good at something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as an artist, like, you battle yourself so fucking much. Like, you know, I mean, people don't get that I mean, you know, it's a battle. It's a battle to be good, you know? It's a fight.
Are you an exhibitionist? You think? I mean, like, you're a drummer, you got all the tattoos, you're an artist, so do you like putting yourself out there and showing your shit off to the people and, like, getting people's reactions? Like, do you like to be...
The funny thing is, no. The funny thing is I'm shy as fuck.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because, like, you know what I mean? Exactly. Like, to look at you, like, big old beard and all black and the tattoos, and I'm a drummer, you're performing in front of people. Like, that would be, like, the behavior of somebody who I would say, dude, that guy wants to be noticed. Well, he wants to be recognized. He's putting out tons of art.
Exactly. And it's funny you said that, like, because I'm shy as fuck and I get, like, panic attacks about, you know, like, even before the opening, I had to have a couple beers just to be like, okay, I have to talk to people tonight.
Right.
And I have to try to make sense. You know what I mean?
I think that's a constant struggle of, like, being creative, that, like you want to put your stuff out there, but I don't know, but me personally, it's like you want to put your stuff out there, but you, at least I also, like, I'm like, oh shit, I know I'm not good enough. I'm not even that good of a designer. I know people that are way better than me. I can hear my, like, old design teachers, like, saying, like, fuck you. You suck. Basically, every time I hit print on anything, I can just hear their voices like, you suck at design. You don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? But you just do it because, like, it's
what you do.
You do this work, but you also, like, part of me also, I want to get recognition for it. I want people to be like, yo, Steve's a good designer. Like, so it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's funny, like, doing, you know, putting out the shows and being in a band.
Well, see, that's why I'm the drummer. I get to stand in back.
You're in back.
I take off my glasses, you know, close my eyes, and I make my fucking drummer faces, you know. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my Jill and...
Is the drummer, like, I've always heard that the drummer is kind of like the scumbag of the band. Is that true?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, the drummer's always the dirty one. He always does the dirty shit.
I'd say we're kind of all equally scumbags, you know?
That's so funny.
I mean, a little less scummy than we used to be, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of all honed our crafts pretty well.
Do you guys play out a lot?
Yeah, I mean, we used to play out a ton. We've been on a couple U.S. tours and everything. You know, we've never gone to the West Coast, but we've been on tours. We put out I don't know how many. We've put out an LP on Profane Existence, this label, and then we've put out on the split LP was on Profane Existence, another LP and a couple 7-inches and tapes and everything. So we've done a lot. We've kind of been slowed down lately because Upton was in Spain.
Okay.
And now we're trying to bring it, back now, but it's the same thing. Like, we're all busy, we're all doing stuff, and like Upton's and he's working full time, and he's also like teaching.
He's
and
a teacher, right?
He's in grad school.
Okay.
So he's not like a teacher, but he's,
Gotcha. And you're crust
he does
punk.
teachers. Yeah. It was like DB.
Explain crust punk. Like, I know some punk. I don't know the factions of punk. I know
There's so many.
I know I like No Effects. I like Pennywise. I like Social D. But like, I don't even know the difference. Like, what the hardcore punks.
Yeah, I know. There's so many different fucking genres for it, and no, I mean, it's like crust punk. Even the shirt I'm wearing, Nausea, is kind of like where I got into it. It's more of like metal-induced punk.
Okay.
It's like metal-induced punk that's also like anarcho.
Okay.
There's like definitely a political thing with it.
Okay.
And we also call it, so it's called D beat because it's like a certain beat that like I pretty much play every song.
DB as in double bass?
No, not double bass. It's like a it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain without doing it.
Can you do it?
Yeah, it's like
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't know that had a term. I thought that was just like
D beat.
I thought that was just like the punk beat, man.
No, that's a D beat. And
I thought that was like just the standard. Like, that is what makes punk is that beat. Like,
I actually have a tattoo that says D beat on me, and then with like a skull guy and everything. And then I was getting it tattooed, and one of the tattoo artists came up and was like, "Deadbeat," and I was like, "Oh shit, that doesn't look deadbeat, doesn't it?" To anybody who doesn't know what a D beat is, But it's just like metal-induced punk.
It's pretty intense.
Heavier, faster, screamier.
Okay.
Angrier.
It's definitely angry.
Smellier.
I listen to it. It's pretty intense. Like, I'm a pretty big fan of metal and punk, and I was like, yo, I don't even think I can deal with this right now.
Like, I mean, like our biggest, there's been like a lot of New England crust punk bands that came out, like State of Fear and Disrupt and the Total End, that are like big influences on us. There's also been this band Man the Conveyors and everything, and it's just, I guess, just fast and pissed off as fuck, but like, we look like the angriest people ever, but when you meet us, we're like the biggest teddy bears ever, too. Like, it's not like that mentality of, oh, I'm a hardcore kid, I'm a punk rocker, I'm going to beat your ass. It's like that mentality of is like, oh, hey, man, here's a beer. Let's, like, mosh out some awesome music and, like, give each other hugs after.
It's so funny because, like, we know each other, and, like, I think at first I was like, yo, this dude's pretty intimidating with the tattoos and the beard. He looks really angry. I'm not going to get in his way.
And it's funny, I saw you, too, and I was like... I'm pretty sure I said the same thing to myself. I mean, not that you have tattoos in the beard, but I was like, damn, this motherfucker squats like 700 pounds. I was like, I'm about to leave right now.
But no, definitely like one of the nicest people. It's really funny. Like, and judging by the artwork, you'd be like, yo, this looks like an intense dude.
Well, yeah, somebody asked me once, they were like, are you really angry? And they were like worried about me, and I'm like, no, man, this is why I'm not angry.
Yeah,
I did this, It's
like therapy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like me and Tim go to the same gym together. Like, can I say that you do CrossFit?
Yeah,
is that cool?
Yeah.
Tim does CrossFit, which is
it's cool between all of us tattooed folk.
Oh, okay. It's actually pretty funny.
I'm not the cool one.
He's not your typical CrossFitter. It's actually pretty funny. Like, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but you know what I mean? Like, how did you get into it?
That's actually a good story. It's Oil Tanker had gone on a 3.5 week tour with our buddies from No Tomorrow, who are like some of our best fucking buds ever. And I was so fucking out of shape and fat, and just like, not like so fat, but like I was playing these shows, and this had been like people like us now, or had liked us then, and we were playing the pretty big. Not like big crowds, but like, we're playing in basements to a lot of people who are going crazy and everything and wanted us to play long sets.
Yep.
And I would get so tired and I'd literally like throw up after the set because I was so out of shape.
Okay.
And it just, I remember I was down in Tampa and I saw my brother and he was like, "You look like you've gained weight." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, bud. Thanks for always shoving that in my face." And
hey, what's new, fat ass?
yeah, exactly. And it was the same thing with, not the same thing with Jill, but she had gained some weight too. And, it was the same, kind of like we had been dating a long time and we were both just getting fat together, I guess.
It happens.
And, so she had suggested CrossFit, and I was like, whatever, I don't give a fuck, whatever, And then if I had saw what like on TV, I would have been like, no.
Yeah.
Because, on TV, it's like all these,
male models shaking their abs at each other.
Yeah, exactly, which is not.
I want no part of that.
Yeah. She basically, like, forced me to go.
Yep.
And I remember the reason I went, too, was because we had gone to, like, some crazy cool Halloween store in, like, Worcester near Halloween, and then we got Denny's after, and I ate like a Denny's veggie burger with like loaded with like shit. So, and I felt like so fat.
I do the moons over my hammy. That's my Denny's go-to, man.
It made me feel so terrible.
Yep.
But the next day I was like, we're doing CrossFit, and then we went, and I felt like the biggest fat ass ever for like 4 months. And I felt like such a dumbass, but like, it made me feel really good after.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to say I'm an adrenaline junkie because I don't like doing stuff like jumping out of planes or something. But like, I need resistance in my life, which is why like I do, wood cutting.
Man, you're struggling with that. Yeah.
I like to make myself crazy.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that makes you feel crazy than CrossFit,
Yup.
And, lifting weights just fucking.
That's like a physical.
Yeah.
Like I could see like this, carving doing the woodcuts being such like a mental struggle, almost, and then like having that physical struggle. Like, do you think that like that it helps your creativity and your artwork?
It's funny you say that because I think it does completely, because I was printing the other day, and I print better now, and I have more patience because printing one of these motherfuckers takes like a good hour for one of the big ones.
Yep.
And I rip the paper sometimes because I get too intense with the hand burnishing and everything. And CrossFit has taught me, is cool with that because, sometimes we'll do like a hero WOD or like a 20-minute AMRAP, where you have to like really mentally be like, okay, you're doing this for 30, 20 minutes.
Yep. Settle in.
You need to chill.
Embrace the suck, man.
Yeah, exactly. Which is definitely has helped me out with all this stuff. It's giving me more patience and everything. And it's also given me an outlet that, I never had before because, this is what I do. And sometimes you get overwhelmed with what you do because you can't stop doing it. And going to work out sometimes, forces me to stop.
Get out of
doing
your own
this.
head.
Yeah, exactly. And like, that's lifting weights and working out. It's just, there's like a moment where you just completely stop thinking and you just react to everything.
And it's almost like the shower scenario, but even more so because I feel like it shuts your brain off. Like in the shower, thoughts keep coming in.
Oh,
but
yeah,
like when you're like in a brutal workout, like you don't even have thoughts. You're just like,
absolutely.
God,
You're just like,
I just got to survive this.
Yeah.
And it's like this like primal like state that you get back into, and then like the endorphin rush you get afterwards is like, it's awesome. Like,
I totally agree. I absolutely agree with that. And it's just like, that's one of my huge problems is trying to shut myself off. Like I can't do it sometimes. And that's why, one of the reasons why, I like to work out and everything,
Sure.
Because, it's good to feel pain, I guess, right?
Right.
And, I'm almost 30 now, so I should probably not be such a fat ass anymore, I used to be able to eat a fucking like large pizza every night and I'd be fine, and now like I have a couple pieces of pizza and I want to kill myself.
Yeah. Definitely. So you got the band, you got the artwork, you're doing the shows. Like, are you doing well with those two things? Like, like, are you? Yeah. Are those two things like labors of love, or can you do pretty well with them?
They're pretty much labors of love. I could probably do better I can do better art wise because it's better to it's easier to market, and like people don't get about playing in a band. I mean, like it's it's a lot of your own money, especially when you're going on tour.
Sure.
Like we've gotten to the point where we can tour where we get beer money, food, and like we get to the point where now we're paying out of pocket.
Okay.
Like I remember I came home from tour once and I was like, Mom, like we all made money, and she was like, oh, how much thousands of dollars? And I was like, oh no, we made $200 each, and like that was good for us,
Sure.
because, but with the band thing is we never expect. I mean, we're an underground punk band who do it because we love punk,
right?
And
it's so
we love
angry.
having fun, yeah, and it's such a release, and it's so much fun.
Do you think you'll ever run out of that though?
No.
Like, do you see
Never.
No,
absolutely not.
There's so many bands I'm into that are like we're heavy metal bands. Like their first couple albums are like they're crazy, and then eventually they just like
fucking Metallica, man.
Yeah,
those fucking like Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, and Justice for All, like the brutalest albums ever.
You think you'll tank?
There's one band, and fuking Motorhead never ran out of it though.
Yeah, that's
they're
true.
still making good shit.
Yeah.
Lemmy's fucking. I mean, he's in his 70s, man. He's still fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, like
you're right.
I'm turning 30 this year, and I never even thought I'd turn 30. Like when I
I'd
was,
be dead long before 30.
So
we're talking about Metallica and metal, and you're. I was asking if you think you'd run out of anger when it comes to your artwork and your music. Like. Do you think you're gonna tap out of it or what?
No, I mean I'm probably more angry now than I was when I was like 20 years old. So it just keeps getting worse.
Wait till you have kids, man. Then you'll get that dad. You'll get that dad anger.
I don't think
your artwork is gonna go bullshit.
I don't think.
Except you'll have no time to do it.
Well,
that's gonna make you even more mad.
We have 2 dogs, so those are my kids for right now. I mean, I can barely take care of myself. I'm not sure I can take care of a kid. I mean, I love my nieces and nephews. I'm actually really good with them. But when it comes to like poop diapers, I don't know if I can handle that. Yeah. Although I pick up dog shit every day because I have 2 dogs. So.
Yeah. See, I'm the other way around. I'm like, I don't want a dog because I can't see myself picking up a piece of dog shit. Kid is like, dude, I can't let this kid walk around with shit in his ass all the time. That's like awful, horrible torture. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to
babysit. I babysit my nephew sometimes, and he's pretty much for the most part potty trained, but he'll have some accidents. And I was like to my sister Nancy, I was like, what do I do if he shits himself? And she was like, clean it up. And I was like, I don't know if I can. It smells so bad.
I don't know. You just gotta think of that little guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would you want to be sitting in it? No.
No, probably not. I mean, I've sharded myself before, and that was embarrassing enough. I
bet. Yeah.
I sharded myself on one of Joe and I's first dates. Actually, that was a funny story. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had.
How long have you guys been together?
Like 8 years.
Really? That's a pretty good run.
Yeah. No, I mean,
8 years.
We've done great, and it's funny.
She's still with you, man. Throughout all of.
I have no idea why. I always joke that my parent, somebody's paying her off to live with me or something. I'm like a social experiment, or
this is like,
or it's like Can't Buy Me Love or something.
What's that movie with Jim Carrey, where he's like The Truman Show? It's The Truman Show.
Yeah.
And your parents hired her to like.
She probably
you. She's your handler, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
That's what I call my wife, my handler.
Oh no, I mean,
they're like, hey, can you hang out? I'm like, I gotta check with my boss.
I'd be in the gutter if it wasn't for her.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I mean, I don't know. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be in the gutter.
What a chick will do to your life when you're like, oh man. Guess I'll get my shit together.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
through school.
I'm still trying to get my shit together, because I used to, we used to party hard back in the days and everything. And it's funny to say back in the days and everything, but I'd come home at like 6 a.m, just like blackout, falling all over the place, and she would handle me and deal with me. And now that I'm realizing, I'm not gonna party that hard anymore because the hangover lasts. 3 days instead of 20 minutes, Dude,
I stayed up till 11 on Friday, and I'm like still feeling it. I think that's a bad idea. So where do you see yourself going? Like where do you think you wanna take this this whole show, man?
I mean, honestly,
Do you want to open up your own like studio? You want to do like your work full time? Do you think you could like, parlay this?
I'd love to do my own work full time, but I mean, it's just the money's not. The money for art really isn't out there, and I don't really.
Have you considered applying some of your stuff in other ways? I mean, I can see like some of these characters becoming like animated. I can see like, this stuff like. I don't know. I'm just.
No, I mean, I absolutely agree, which is why I'm trying to. Because I mean, like, investing to buy a, 2 foot by 3 foot hand printed woodcut that I have to charge a couple $100 for it because I put in the time and effort. Sure. And and again, I have a lot of punk rock friends and everything who don't necessarily have, myself included, don't have the space or the money to buy a 2 foot by 3 foot woodcut to hang on their wall. So I've been thinking about like stickers and other stuff, or smaller stuff, or shirts, or I've done a lot of designs for bands, which is cool. Like, okay. I did the drawings for all the Oil Tanker records, and then my friend Shane, the guitar player, he puts in the logos and does all the graphic design stuff with it. And I did the album cover for this band Iron Hand, and I've done stuff, a drawing for my friend's band, like Cogdis and everything, and that works out well as far as like getting my name out there. Mm-hmm. And everything. I mean, like, well, I didn't say this, but it's I mean, for me, it's like it's about the passion, it's about the art first, sure. And whatever happens. And I know I'm an idiot. I should apply myself more. I should make a website, put myself out there more, but it's just so hard to do because the second I start working on a website, I'm thinking about, oh, now I'm wasting time not drawing.
Yeah.
Like, and I need, and like, even bringing all these here today, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm a lunatic because I'm working on, well, like 10 woodcuts at a time, 8 woodcuts at a time, so, but, it'd be, I mean, my thing is that I live so simple and live so cheaply that if I could just make like even like fucking like a couple thousand more a year, I'd feel like a rich man,
But like, what if you could I mean, you've already done all of this work, so like, what if you could somehow parlay some of this work into something else, like apply it to something else, make money.
I've thought about trying to do something where we can like make them into posters. Mm-hmm. And like keep them the same size, but like, I mean, like the posters you'd go to the record store and buy as a kid, like a Green Day poster, or, fucking Iron Maiden poster. Like, I think that would be cool, and I want to look into that because, like I said, these things take me so long to make, and once they're done, the image is out there, and that fucking rules. Yep. And it's gonna be out there forever, especially with the way the internet is now, and
Like, is your Instagram, you talk about Instagram, is that like, do you have like a lot of people like into that?
Yeah, actually, it was on the first day I got like 100 followers. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and you have a lot of followers in your art as it is?
Yeah, no,
do you have a lot of followers of the band?
Yeah, that goes really well. We can, like I said, we haven't been doing much lately, which I miss it because I miss just beating the hell out of some drums.
Sure.
But yeah, no, we do well. Can't complain, I mean, we're not, it's not like, we're not like fucking like Miley Cyrus or whatever, making like millions and millions of dollars or anything, or ever expect, because like I said, we started this band because we were like, let's just get drunk and have fun and play fucking really fast.
Yeah.
And then, because Shane, our guitar player, is actually a drummer first, and he's probably a better drummer than me, but I don't know how to fucking play guitar, and he was like, oh, I'll play guitar. And we were like, do you know how to? And he was like, no. So Paul, our bass player, actually taught him to play guitar. Now he's like an awesome, solid punk rock guitar player, So, it just started off as fun. And,
somebody being murdered right now?
Yeah, this is Hartford. But yeah, I mean, and then it's the same thing with my art. Like, I never expected anything. We never wanted anything. And it ended up becoming something that's awesome. Yeah. And that we hope that's going to be like awesomer in the future,
Yeah, definitely. But I would say, like, you have done the work, you put in the time. If you could somehow turn that into something, even if it's, selling shirts or prints, if you have like an Etsy site or
absolutely, because people
why not? You have it already here, like.
And people most of the time don't even understand what a woodcut is. Like, people just, not to like make fun of anybody that way, because
especially this day and age. Like,
I'm literally printing this shit by hand.
Did you do that in Photoshop?
Huh?
Did you do that in Photoshop?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, when I was growing up, like, nobody knew what Photoshop was.
You drew stuff on paper.
Yeah, now it's like kids are photoshopping instead of doodling. Like,
I remember in fucking tech ed, my first fucking scan we had to do was like, and then it was like wait for 20 minutes, and it was like, oh, there's this like green and black and white blob,
Yeah.
And then now it's just like you fucking scan anything or do whatever,
You just take a picture of it with your iPhone
and
shoot it.
Yeah.
How many times I do that? I'll sketch something, shoot it with my iPhone, email it to myself. I'm tracing it in Illustrator, and bam.
Yeah.
Like.
See, I'm not good like that.
I'm all about technology because it saves me time. Like,
being a designer, it's all about time.
Well, it's about. I'm just trying to be the most efficient person I can.
Yeah.
Like, streamline.
Well, that's what, my buddy Ian, who's marrying one of my best friends, Katie. He's a graphic designer, and that's the thing too. And it's all about being efficient.
Yep.
And and actually, it's funny. I brought him up too because I always joke with people about this that like, all artists are the same as far as crazy goes, but like you could always tell the graphic designer because like their houses are always nicer, or like they're always cleaner.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know if this is the way with you, but like with me, there's shit everywhere. But when like a graphic designer thinks a little neater and like a little,
Yeah.
and you can keep it on the computer or sketchbook.
Yep.
And then, because like their house in Portland's like all like, they're super,
shui,
they're super cool things just like set up. There's like a hatchet hanging on the wall with next to like a feather.
Ideally, I would have a really nice, clean house, but like, yeah, it's just,
well, you also have children.
My house is Pee-wee's Playhouse right now.
Yeah.
It's just like a cluster, which is maddening because I would want that nice, clean house, but
Jill desperately wants it.
The kids ain't having it.
Yeah,
like, you want that? That's the most important thing to you? Guess what? I'm gonna dump on it. I'm gonna puke on it.
Our floor, we live in a whole old house, so our floor is kind of, gotten a little messed up over the years. So it's gonna get fixed. But Jill was like, we'll buy a carpet to put over it. We bought a carpet. I put it down. I went to go take a piss. I come back and my dog's already ripped it up. And they were like just looking at me like, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, what's up? What are you doing
What's
now?
next?
Yeah.
I'm in charge,
You got two pit bulls?
Yeah.
Rescues?
Yeah, they're both rescues.
And like, what do you say to that? Like, I know people are like either like really on the fence. You're either like pro pit bull or you're like get the hell out of here with pit bull.
I actually do
right?
Yeah, I do a lot of prints of them, and I did a rescue print that says rescue of Ralph, and I did an I Love Pitbull print of Henry. And
where'd you get the names from? Ralph and Henry, is that from the Christmas Story?
Well, Ralphie, for Jill's sake, is from the Christmas Story.
Okay.
And for mine, it was like Ralph Steadman.
Okay, gotcha.
And Henry is
Hank?
Hank the dog, or like Henry Rollins.
Oh yeah.
Henry Rollins, or the guy
Dude, I met Henry Rollins.
Did you really?
And I totally fucking insulted him.
Dude.
To his face.
He seems like he's just as like, he's a high-strung man. He seems like that, right?
Well, the thing was like, okay, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was leaving Iraq for the second time, my second tour. And I was super into weightlifting at the time, like bodybuilding, like jack and steel, like that was my life. And he was doing a tour, and I was like all about it. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna meet Henry Rollins. I went and I actually had Undertow on me because I'm like a Wicked Tool fan, and he sings on that.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
And I had him sign it. I still have it, but I was like, dude, the guy, like, it's weird meeting celebrities because like, I'm envisioning like Henry Rollins,
yeah, like a superstar
from The Chase, or Henry Rollins from like SNL with his shirt off, all fucking jacked and covered in tattoos. He had like gray hair and he just looked like beat up. And he's like, I was like, yo, do you still lift? That's all I said. And he was like, he looked at me like, he was like, hey man, I'm like 43 years old. And the other day, my buddy just blew his knee out trying to back squat. I don't know, some astronomical amount of weight. So yeah, I'm trying to, I work out, but I take it easy, whatever. And I was just like, oh shit. But I was actually trying to I was like hoping like maybe he'd want to.
Yeah, like talk about it,
Talk about it, or like maybe I was gonna be like, you want to go bang weights in the gym tent after this, or what? Like that would have been awesome. Like,
yeah.
Yo, I lifted weights with fucking Henry Rollins. I thought it'd be badass, but then afterwards I was like, yo, he probably was like.
He's like, how many times I got asked that a day now?
He's like, yo, I was in Black Flag.
Yeah.
Before you were born.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wrote a blog post about it.
Really? That's cool though.
Yeah, I met him and totally. I was like, wait, I think I insulted Henry Rollins.
Yeah, that happens,
Yeah, what are you gonna do, man?
Insult your idols. That's cool.
Yeah, totally. But what are you gonna do? So,
I mean, if I ever met somebody I was like, I'm sure I'd say the stupidest thing ever. I'd be like,
oh yeah.
I'd be like, or I'd like shake their hand and just like lay out a huge fart.
Yeah, your hand.
Or like start like peeing or something, or just be like.
It's weird meeting famous people. Like,
I remember there was a band. We met the drummer or whatever, and he's like this older punk dude. And my friend was like, it was a couple years ago, and he was like, oh, like you give me hope for becoming an old guy because you're still a punk rocker and you're so cool. And the guy just looked at us like, get the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking douche. And I was like, why the fuck did you just say that to him, man?
It's weird to like, because when you meet famous people, like in your head, you're like, I'm going to say something funny and witty. They might remember me and be like, you're my new best friend. And then you're like, you come off sounding like a complete tool bag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're like, what? You inspire me to be old.
Yeah.
Do you lift weights anymore, you bitch?
Yeah, you're looking really skinny.
Yeah. You don't intimidate me whatsoever.
How long ago was that?
Oh, Jesus. It must have been like 2003, 2004.
Yeah. So he's a lot older and not lifting weights now. Then.
No, but he's got some cool shit out there talking about.
Oh, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. He puts out some pretty cool videos. Pretty inspiring. He's talking about,
Well, his spoken word was always fucking awesome.
Yeah,
he's just like an intense dude.
Yeah, super intense. Yeah, totally.
And he's straight edge too, right? Yeah.
I don't know if he's totally straight edge, but I know he's a big deal about like, treating your body as a temple.
Yeah.
Your body is like the most important thing. It's all you ever own. Blah 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 blah. Like,
Well, they actually do. Not to talk about. Henry Rollins doesn't do it, but they do flag again now, with the guy from the Circle Jerks singing all the Black Flag songs.
Really? Like, he wasn't the original singer.
No, yeah, no, the guy from the Circle Jerks is the original singer.
Okay, yeah.
And that's my favorite shit. No offense to Henry. He's probably listening right now, right?
Yeah, totally. I guarantee you there's nobody listening to this. Yeah. You and me, maybe later. Yeah. I'm probably not going to listen to it.
I'll hear your voice in my dreams.
It's wonderful. But, I don't know, man. I think, I guess we covered quite a bit. We got deep into the mind of Timmy Tanker, a.k.a. Timmy Wengertsman.
Which I apologize for.
No, it's cool, man. It's definitely cool. I think this show went pretty good. So you don't have a website, but where can people find you? And
lamely enough, Facebook.
Facebook?
Yeah, Tim Wengertsman or Tim Tanker.
Tim Tanker. And then you're on, what's your Instagram?
Timmy Tanker.
What about the band?
We're on Facebook and Bandcamp, Oil Tanker.
Bandcamp. And you're on Spotify too, right?
Yeah, and Pandora, yeah. I didn't even realize that.
Oil Tanker. Oil Tanker is the band.
Yeah.
If you're into some aggressive punk.
Yeah, it's pretty much, we recorded, and I was like, oh, that sounds like an oil tanker. And they're like, oh, that's our name then, I guess. So that was that.
Cool.
And then the whole, like, BP Exxon thing happened, and people were like, is that why you named your band that? And we're like, No.
Pure coincidence.
Yeah. We created that.
Yeah,
it's our fault.
Yeah. Genius marketing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We all made $200 off of it.
Yeah, right. God, our first tour, we were all like fucking like negative $300.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, it was fun, and that's what you do, you know.
How many tours have you been on with the band?
Like 4 or 5 maybe. I mean,
how far have you gone? And how many shows?
The longest was probably like 3.5 weeks, so like 21 or 23, 24 shows.
That's a ton in 3 weeks.
And yeah, sometimes
it's exhausting.
Oh, it's fucking exhausting.
You know, it's crazy because like it's funny because I not to even compare, but like I was invited to do like give a seminar on graphic design, like
party foul.
They were empty. It's cool. I was invited to give a talk, a design seminar, like 2 weeks ago, and like I didn't sleep for like 2 nights afterwards. I can't imagine like going out to it for 3 weeks. Like, dude, what does that do to you?
It's fucking tough, man. I mean, it's awesome because you get to meet all these new super cool people, and like all like-minded people too. You know, because a lot of time, you know, you walk around here and there's a bunch of fucking assholes, you know, and you know, not to be mean, but like, you know, people aren't. Especially in the Northeast, they're not nice. They're not, you know. Like,
we take pride in being assholes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And,
like, somebody waves at you, you're like, what the fuck's that guy?
Yeah, like, what does he want from me?
Yeah, what's your problem?
I ain't got no money.
Who's that asshole?
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, fuck you.
That's actually funny you say that, too, because when we went on tour with No Tomorrow, our buddies, and they're from North Carolina, and they're like, you guys need to talk more. Why are you guys so salty all the time? Like... You know, they'd like we go to the grocery store to buy food, and they'd like get into a conversation with a random person, whereas we're just like, don't fucking look at me.
Yeah, you're like, get your shit, get the hell out of here. Get out of my way.
Yeah, and they're like, you fucking nor'easter, you know.
Mean, man. Yeah. You're like solo mean people.
Yeah. But yeah, that was probably, you know, then we haven't gone to the West Coast yet, unfortunately, because to go to the West Coast, you either have to do like a 4 or 5 week tour or fly out there.
Sure.
And with Upton going to Spain, he was living in Spain for a couple of years, we kind of got, you know, sidetracked with all that shit. So we really want to go out there, and then we want to do Europe too, hopefully someday.
Do you have like a following out there in Europe or in the West Coast?
I don't know.
Or?
I mean, I assume so. But I mean, we know enough people to get the shows.
Okay.
You know, and it always surprises me.
You ever do like South America? Like, there's a huge...
No, but actually,
people are like wicked into metal down there.
Yeah, like
fucking crazy.
My friend's band Napalm Raid just finished touring Brazil, and this band I love, Doom. Actually, they were in the news because a couple people died at one of their shows because of a stampede.
Really?
Like, but it was in Chile and everything, and like, yeah, apparently like
they're probably like selling out like arenas, and like up here like nobody even knows who Doom is.
Well, actually, people. Well, yeah.
You know what I'm,
no, well, yeah, it's actually funny you bring that up because like when my buddy's band Behind Enemy Lines toured Mexico, he was like, there's fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there's people, you know. There's crazy amounts of people, and you know, I mean, not that, you know, Behind Enemy Lines playing now, they'd get a good show, but it's not hundreds and hundreds of people, you know.
Sure.
Because like, you know, it's down in, I mean, they don't get. I mean, those are kind of sometimes third world countries. They don't get bands like that coming down, you know, because people are scared or whatever, you know. Actually, I would love to tour Mexico. I've had friends who do it. I mean, I'd probably have to have a 12-pack by me the whole time so I could like stay sane and like keep my panic attacks down, but. It'd be fun as shit, you know. I mean, we know people down there that, you know, we could probably do it. Just as we know enough people in Europe, it's just a matter of, you know, like we're all trying to make do, and you know, it was a little easier when we were younger because
less responsibility.
Yeah. Well, less responsibility, and you know, like I've been trying to focus on the, you know, this art thing, and.
Sure.
You know, like I said, with Upton moving to Spain for a little bit, and now he's trying to like get his grad school thing going.
Okay.
And
how long has the band been together?
Maybe like 7 years.
Oh wow!
Since I was like Like 21.
Wow. Okay.
22. Yeah. So I mean, it's great. I mean, we all love each other. We're like fucking. They're my best friends and my brothers. You know, I'm sure, as you know, from being in the army and shit. You know, you spend enough time in a van like farting.
Yeah.
And
it's like that hardship brings you together.
Yeah, saying stupid shit together and being
like you hate each other, but then once you experience something with them,
and and it's just like you spend, you know, you have your worst hangovers with these people in a van.
Yep.
You know, and you know it's hot as shit or it's cold as shit and everything. It's cool though. I mean, which is why I fucking love touring, just because. You're just reacting to life.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh shit, I gotta pay this bill, I gotta pay that bill. You're thinking literally, oh shit, I'm sitting. Oh shit, I gotta pee. Oh, I'm gonna take a nap. Oh shit, we gotta load gear. Oh shit, I'm drinking a beer. Oh shit, we're playing the show.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you know what I mean? Like you're just reacting, and it's kind of like liberating.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I can see where that could be like super fun, in the sense that like. Yeah, you're not bogged down by like the mundane tasks that we do.
Yeah,
daily life.
Which get very mundane.
Right, where like playing an event, it's got to be fun. It's got to be like super.
Oh, it's great. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
I've only had one time where it was like overwhelming for me. We played this thing called Midwest Hellfest, and you know, it was a legit fest with, you know, we had our name out there and we were playing at a pretty good time on the fest with a really good lineup of bands, and we were on a huge stage and we were all mic'd up and shit. Like, we're used to playing like dirty basements, you know, where everybody's fucking wasted and shit. And we went to get, you know, the song starts and it starts with a guitar that, you know, and then I like go to do like a drum roll to start it off. And my hands were like, I was like,
right.
They weren't working, and I was like, fuck, this is bad. But, yeah, I mean, that was the only time I did that, where I got like that. It was like, it actually got overwhelming and everything. But, you know, and then you start playing, and then it starts feeling good, and people are fucking into it. And then we saw videos after of it, and people were like super into it. And we played a cover of this band, State of Fear. One of our favorite bands, and song Violation, and some girl jumped up on stage and was singing the song with us and everything. It was fucking awesome, you know.
And how does your musician life impact your artist life?
A ton, actually, because a lot of these drawings are of like punk rockers I know, or musicians I know, or even, you know, and a lot of these or, you know, drawings and woodcuts are like stories of tour, or stories of, you know, my friends and I playing shows or partying or this and that. And you know, like this one's the fuck off one's my friend Phoebe, who I play in a band with, and she plays guitar. And like this one in it is my buddy Paul, who, you know, plays bass and oil tanker. And you know, like this one, We're Only Gonna Die print is basically like, you know, like an older, you know, crust punk giving a communion to like a younger punk, you know? So it kind of, you know, giving him like the, you know, the low life and everything. So, you know, kind of all, I honestly get more influence from like punk rock and musicians than other artists, you know?
The lifestyle. And
yeah.
Experience through your friends in your music and the band.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even, you know, like even a lot of times like my buddy Eric, who's a tattoo artist, I'll see something he draws or something he tattoos, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. I should do something of like mine like that. Or, you know, even with Alex, like from Awesome, he tattooed a dead bird on my buddy Paul's ribs. And like ever since then, I've used that as like a symbol, and I'll draw a dead bird sometimes. You know, and it's just like, even, you know.
I see More Beer a lot.
Yeah, that says More Beer right there. That's actually from a song from a band that has a band called, you know, More Beer. That's the song's called. That's what the song is called. And yeah, you know, I mean, one of the reasons I put it in there is just because like it's kind, you know, yeah, I love drinking beer, you know, punk rock, this and that, but it's one of those things that, like, you know, this is like legitimately fine art.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that somebody would be like, why the fuck would you put a beer in a, you know?
It's like a joke within a joke.
Yeah.
Little hidden Easter eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like, it's a fine art, but here's a little, a reminder that it's
like,
still...
to not take yourself so fucking seriously.
It's still Tim Tanker.
Yeah.
Chiseling something out on a board.
Yeah.
Really. Like,
when he's like naked wasted at like 4 a.m, you know?
Right. That's awesome. Cool, man. What do you think? I think we covered everything, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah. We got deep into the mind of Tim Wengertsman today.
Honestly, it's probably like, you ever see that Family Guy episode when they're stoned and they're like singing like really beautiful music?
Yeah.
And then when you see him in real life, they're just like, This is probably what this sounds like.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna put this up. I don't even think I'm gonna edit it and like look at it because I don't even want to hear it. I just. But definitely check out. Guess we can cut it here, huh? We've been going for a while.
Yeah.
So.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah.
or he. That's what he said too.
Yeah.
They both.
He or she. That's what they all say. Check out Tim Wengertsman at Tim Tanker on Facebook.
Yeah. Or Tim Tanker, Tim Wengertsman on Facebook.
Yeah, Timmy Tanker on Instagram. Hit him up for some tattoo artwork, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I'll tattoo you in an alley.
And check out Oil Tanker on Spotify, Pandora. You guys on iTunes? You guys get a cut of that?
No, we don't. I don't.
If somebody wants to buy some of your tunes, where do they?
We don't get a cut of that because we. What we did was we usually only do vinyl, and we did this record label, Southern Lord Records, wanted to do their metal label. Really cool, and they released it on CD. Okay. So we either got a cut of it or we got a cut of the CDs, and we chose to get the CDs because we're not popular enough to sell a bunch online. So we were just like, fuck, we'll sell CDs on tour at shows. Okay. So yeah, and it's just cool to be out there because I mean we haven't really played much in 2 years, so we really haven't been relevant. Playing in 2 years, but we still have everything on Spotify and all that other shit, so we still can go out and play now, you know? Cool.
All right. Yeah, so if you're interested in some super angry, aggressive music or super angry, aggressive artwork, check out
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, Oil Tanker and Tim Wengertsman or Tim Tanker. And,
you said my name better than I can say it, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm saying it odd.
Wengertsman. Wengertsman?
Wengertsman.
It's a weird name.
What nationality are Wengertsman?
I guess it's German, but I'm mostly Italian and Irish.
Gotcha.
So.
So I call you Timmy Tanker.
But I look ambiguously
bearded.
Yeah.
Ambiguously bearded.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Well, I mean, my nationality is like Sasquatch or something.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Or like. I was gonna say bearded lady, but I'm not a lady, so just Sasquatch.
Sasquatch, definitely angry Sasquatch playing the drums. But thanks for coming on and being our inaugural interviewee.
Yeah,
on the Crazy
great.
Creative, man.
This is fun.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like a rock star.
Yeah, right? You feel like a famous person.
I feel like I said, I feel like a rock star, and now when I listen to this, it's, like I said, it's all gonna be. It's gonna be awful. Yeah.
Well, just don't listen.
Jill's gonna listen to it and probably just stare at me and just shake her head.
No, man, I think you did well. You did her proud.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, like I said, thanks for being on, and then that's the Crazy Creative Podcast, and I would definitely love to have you on again.
Yeah, this is fun. Like I said, Jill doesn't want to talk to me. She does want to talk to me, but I need somebody to talk to. So like maybe this could just be like a weekly therapy session.
This would be like therapy, dude.
Yeah.
Just like lift weights and drink a couple beers and talk on these mics. You don't even have to share it anywhere.
Yeah.
Just, like organize your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all need it.
Absolutely.
Because my mind is going.
Oh, my mind.
A million places at once right now.
It shouldn't. Yeah, and it does. And it's
Good
awful.
to sit down and like talk to somebody for like an hour.
To me, when crazy meets crazy.
Yeah, bad meets evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. So I guess that's it, and we'll talk to you next time.
Cool.
We're out.
Sweet.
Peace.